Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another post-press conference report. I'm Alejandro Zuniga here for the Michigan Insider, Michigan.247sports.com. Talked to Sharon Moore, Alex Orji, and Will Johnson today on this Monday afternoon, post a pivotal win over USC over at the Big House on Saturday, and as they're getting started to prepare for Minnesota, a fifth home game in a row, fight for the Little Brown Jug. That's going to be a noon kickoff on Fox here at Michigan Stadium. Let's dive into the main takeaways, starting with Sharon Moore. First question he was asked was about the quarterback, maybe as you'd expect, and he confirmed that Alex Orji will remain QB1 for the Wolverines this week and potentially moving forward. Said that the number one thing that the team asked of him, that the coaches asked of him, was to protect the football, and he did that against the Trojans. Threw maybe one interceptable pass on a pass attempt to Marlon Klein in the first half that ended up falling incomplete, but otherwise didn't really put the ball into harm's way. The Wolverines, as Alex Orji said, played a ball control style offense, were able to win the game on the strength of their run game, and of course on the defense that made some stops late. Alex Orji, for his part, said that he was pleased with how the game played out, said that the two most important things for any starting quarterback are, one, protect the football, two, win the football game, check and check for his first start. Said that he is confident in himself and in his own abilities, and that there is more that he can show from his game. Of course, didn't want to dive too much into specifics, but when we spoke in the offseason, he talked extensively about the work he's put in as a passer, the work he's put in into knowing the playbook and reading defenses, and certainly with the way that defenses might approach Michigan moving forward in an Alex Orji-led offense. They're going to stack the box, they're going to crash their safeties. Michigan's going to have to show a little bit more in the passing game to keep defenses honest. That's something Sharon Moore and Alex Orji have both acknowledged, so something you might expect to see a little bit more of when Alex Orji makes his second start of his college career against Minnesota this weekend. Other updates across the offense. Sharon Moore said that Colston Loveland was close to playing last Saturday against USC. That is, of course, encouraging news for the Michigan offense moving forward. A tight end, especially a tight end like Colston Loveland, is going to be a quarterback's best friend. He is moving in a positive direction. Sharon Moore, of course, as with all Michigan coaches, is not going to be as forthcoming maybe as we'd like with injuries, but encouraging signs that we may see him this weekend against Minnesota. Elsewhere across the offense, Sharon Moore declined to give details into what's going on with the center position, where we saw both Dominic Giudice and Greg Crippen play against USC. Both were on the field for touchdown drives. They've platooned the last couple weeks. We'll see where that goes moving forward. Similar with Evan Link, Sharon Moore said that he's taken steps forward in pass protection and particularly as a run blocker. We saw continued issues for Evan Link at right tackle as a pass blocker, but he did move people when Michigan was running the ball, as did the rest of the offensive line. Sharon Moore shouted them out, said that they had their best game as an offensive line in this young season. Of course, we expect them to continue improving as the season moves along. On the defensive side of the ball, Sharon Moore shouted out Jair Hill, said he had one of his better games, and of course Josiah Stewart, who Sharon Moore said was a game wrecker against USC. Also noted his leadership off the field, said that Josiah Stewart, the edge rusher, was the next guy in line to be voted a captain for Michigan. So I had the four captains, the next guy in line was Josiah Stewart. Speaks to his maturity off the field and of course his level of play on the field. Some of the biggest news coming out of Saturday was in the secondary, as Will Johnson missed the back half of the game, or the back third of the game, with an undiagnosed or an undisclosed injury. Will Johnson told us that he'd gotten in to take x-rays. It was a shoulder issue. Said that they found no broken bones, that he potentially could have returned to the game, but he's going to take it day to day this week, see where he's at in practice, to see what his status is going to be against Minnesota in the fight for the Little Brown Jug on Saturday at noon at Michigan Stadium. We'll have a lot more content preparing for that game. Fifth home game in a row for the Wolverines, who are looking to go 2-0 in Big Ten play. So stay tuned to the Michigan Insider for that. That's over at Michigan.247sports.com. Plenty of content for myself, Alejandro Zuniga, from Bryce Marriage, who's on the other side of this camera right now, coming off a big recruiting weekend against USC. And of course, plenty of content analyzing the Gophers, preparing for that game in a historical rivalry with a trophy at stake this weekend. For everyone over at the Michigan Insider, I'm Alejandro Zuniga. We'll talk to you next time.